Gaming has come a long way. You know, when I first started playing, we had to dial our TVs to channel 3 or 4. Actually, I don't remember what it was, but I remember it was something for kids. And I remember our parents were always crazy that it was gonna rot our brains. But now, you know, communities of millions play together from all ages and backgrounds. Far from hurting, video games help many of us relax and find communities, even deal with real life traumas. And no group proves the positive power of gaming better than veterans. You know, this current generation of veterans, they grew up on consoles and computers, and now they're increasingly finding their childhood pastime can be a tool for improving their lives. The veteran community has always shown up for gaming. Now we all get a chance to show up for veterans. Veterans like Sergio Alfaro.
My name is Sergio Nicolas Alfaro. I served in the U.S. Army as a medic from 2000 to 2004. They kept me an extra 6 months. I guess they couldn't get enough of me.
Sal Gonzalez, United States Marine Corps, 2003 to 2005.
Jason Hill, Army veteran, 1998 to 2002. I served overseas deployments in Korea and Bosnia. My MOS was 19 Kilo, and that's Abrams tanker. I was the driver.
The military's motto is hurry up and wait. You get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, you get through all your inspections, you get all your gear together, and then you don't leave until 8 in the morning, right? There's like a 4-hour gap between when you're ready and when you actually roll.
We were stationed at Camp Junction City back in the day. That's what we called it. Camp Junction City was pretty close to Aramati. It's 15 minutes west of Fallujah. Still a very dangerous area. We even got cut off a couple of times because they took, the terrorists took back Fallujah.
When you're in war, there's this much stuff that you got to do, and there's this much of the day you have to fill. The rest of the time is spent trying not to go crazy.
Gaming was one of the big ways that we were able to kind of relieve some stress and, kind of pretend for a little bit that we weren't in the middle of a war, I think it just helped me so much to have that reprieve, that break that was so necessary at those times.
Hot take, are veterans better at gaming?
The answer is we train more. So the
You got
answer
your
is
10,000 hours.
Yeah, man,
you got your hours.
Easy, right, yeah.
There are certain things that we learn in the infantry very specifically about covering and concealing, moving in a gunfight, that kind of thing, not standing next to things that explode like you like to do.
All right, come on, man. Don't call me out. Come on, don't do that.
Playing games in the service wasn't a huge thing for me. It wasn't until I was injured that became a big part of my life. It's an escape from the reality that my life was at the time, which was pretty depressing. My standard answer when children ask me how I lost my leg is that I didn't eat my vegetables. When I finally was able to have my computer there with me, you talk about passing the day, son. 18 hours of hardcore leveling, that'll get you through some dark hospital days, baby.
I like to refer to what's called the flow state. If you've ever read a book, right, and an hour goes by, and you're like, man, where did that hour just go, right? It's a way for you to just kind of let everything around you dissolve.
Talk about what it's like to come back.
Honestly, the only thing I remember is when I first came back home, I was angry, man. I was angry. I was kind of in a very hurt place. When I got so many different types of thoughts going through my head, so many different directions that my feelings and emotions that are coming up, memories of war, memories of being back there, memories of trauma. But with gaming, I'm able to actually kind of sit down and find kind of that balanced state.
Peace, yeah.
Yeah,
It allows you to kind of like hit that release valve and just kind of chill out for a little while and absorb yourself into something that's not so chaotic as the normal world can be.
I think about like when I was a kid in the service, living on all the bases I lived on, and my dad's friends who had gone out on different deployments and come back, and even my dad's experience, like, what does community mean for someone who's retired from the service and comes home?
Getting into the military, you meet people from all over the world with all sorts of different cultural, ethnic backgrounds. None of that stuff matters. I mean, you're literally there to bond with and fight for your brothers and sisters that you serve with, and you miss that. I mean, that's the first thing you miss when you get out of the military, right? Because you kind of lose that connection with these people that you bonded so closely with.
Currently, I play with 2 other veterans. My buddy Ryan, we call him Teapot. He's missing an arm. He's got a short spout. if you know what I mean. He's my brother from another mother. Together we make a full person. We play together as often as we can.
Finding a community is one of the most important steps that you can take when you are getting out of the military so that you have more normalcy around what you're doing day in and day out. I've trained in martial arts, I've been in video gaming communities, and they were absolutely tremendous.
You know, as I get older, my back hurts, my legs hurt, I can't do jujitsu like I used to, but I can still game. I can still snipe you from across the map.
As a veteran, what's the thing you're most proud of?
Resilience. We train for the worst possible situations. All the chips are down and we're almost certainly gonna die, but hey, fight on as long as you can. And if I didn't have that mentality, I don't know if I'd still be here.
I am most proud of the man I became, the man that the military developed, and any success that I've had in life, I really do owe to the level of discipline, loyalty, camaraderie, all of these different intangibles that I wouldn't have gotten instilled into my being without the time I did in the military.
What I'm proud about with my service, my time that I gave to this country, is the fact that the people I care about didn't have to make those sacrifices that I've had to make. I see now that my service actually extends much further. I have stuff now that perhaps I'm gonna have to live with for the rest of my life. And to know that my family, my friends don't necessarily have to carry that burden, that makes me proud.
Through its partnerships with Wounded Warrior Project and supporting programs that benefit veterans, Verizon is committed to giving more to those who give the most. Check out Verizon.com/military to see why Verizon is ranked the most military-friendly company.